Hey guys, welcome. Today I'm going to talk to you about Trump and his comment. I've been on social media a little bit and I have seen comments and things flying all over the place. It's gone kind of cray-cray, right? Okay, so now first of all I want to start by saying that what Trump said was totally bang out of order. He has no right to make such a reference, calling Africa a shithole. Okay, we have our problems, definitely, but it's not a shithole. If it was, I wouldn't be living here with my children and my husband. It doesn't, I wouldn't do it. I'm sure nobody else would do it either. Okay, but in the same vein, we also have to recognize that we have got some issues here that need to be addressed. Okay, now there are certain things here that will could really frustrate for that person. For starters, our healthcare system is not the best. Okay, if you don't have money and you get sick, you're in trouble, for one. Okay, I'll give you an example. There was about I think it's about a week or 2 weeks ago now, a mother gave birth to her baby in a hospital. When the baby was born, they realized that the baby had a few medical issues, so the baby needs to be operated on. The mother did not have the money for the birth and she didn't have the money for the operations, so she left the hospital and she left the baby in the hospital. The first operation, I believe some people raised some money to have the operation done. The operation was done and the baby was fine, and but the baby still needed more work to be done. The baby was due to have another operation and sadly the baby passed away. I mean, I can't say for sure if it would have been better if the mother would have been there or whatnot, whatever. But my point was that the mother didn't have the money to pay, so because she couldn't pay, she snuck out of the hospital and left the baby behind. It's very sad, but that's basically what was done. So definitely we have issues in this country. There is corruption. There are things going on. There is corruption in every country, though. Let me just say that now before anybody jumps on the bandwagon of Africa, whatever. Okay, there is corruption everywhere. You may not see it, that's all, but it's still there. Okay, it happens everywhere. Now, what I want to say is, for those of you that have been in uproar about what Trump said, you have no right to be in uproar if, for starters, you're not even making a change. If you are one of these people that says, I couldn't move to Africa because Africa doesn't have hot water every day, Africa doesn't have this or that or the other, you can't talk if you're not going to make some kind of change. It makes no sense. It is like you saying, my house is a mess, but you know what? I'm going to complain about it, rather than actually going and picking up the stuff on the floor. I'm looking at my floor because I've got something on the floor. But anyway, yeah. If you're going to complain and say, look, my house is a mess, blah, 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 but you're not actually going to be the person to go and pick up the rubbish from the floor, it's better you be silent, because all your hot air, all that you're saying is just going out into the atmosphere and it's just blowing away, and no one cares what you're saying because you're not actually being of change. If you want to be a person of substance, be a person that makes change. Now, I'm not saying, and I don't for a minute believe that everyone can up and say, I'm going to live in Africa or whatever. I'm not even saying that. That's what I'm saying. You can be a change in many other ways. You can be a positive role model to somebody that perhaps wants to come to Africa, or just be a person that speaks positively about Africa, rather than always looking at the negatives of certain things. Talk about the positives. Let there be a positive vibe that goes around when people talk about Africa. We don't always have to talk about things that are negative. You know, Africa is not the starving child that you see on the street. There are many people that are very, very rich here, believe me, and I can't touch them even because I don't have that kind of money that they have. They are please. I don't have money. They have money, okay? And they have money for a reason, okay? Now, an example is, there was about 3-4 years ago, you couldn't get a burger in Ghana anywhere. You just couldn't find one. Someone came, set up a burger joint, and now there are burgers everywhere. But you know what? It took that one person to set up a burger joint, and it just had a ripple effect. Everyone now does burgers. You can get them everywhere. But it took one person to do it first. If there is a problem and you can be the solution to that problem, that is a business. That is it. That is what businesses are. Businesses solve problems. That's what they are. So if you want to be entrepreneurial, you have to have some sort of business, or have some type of business mindset. Solve people's problems. That's what you do. What I don't respect is people that just blow in hot air for no reason. If you're going to talk negative about Africa, what is the difference between what you're saying and what Trump is saying? He just happened to say he's out on a platform where everybody was going to hear it. What about think about the things that you talk about, okay? So if you're not willing to be the change, what are you doing? What are you doing? Honestly. Seriously, guys. That's all I've got to say. Don't be offended by something that somebody else says if you're not even going to make a change in any way, or if you even speak negative about certain things. Come on, we can all be a change. Change starts with you and with me. Not people like Trump are not interested in coming to develop Africa, and he's not even an issue. Okay, so for those of you that are thinking that I'm defending Trump in any way, I am not defending it at all. I'm just saying, what are you doing? Anyway guys, that's all I've come to say.